Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Double Game Week 37. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Leave a comment. Are you thinking of playing your wildcard for this week? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, as I just said, it is a double game week, but it's not really a double game week you're going to be attacking if you're going to be using a wild card. It's more or less if you're going to be kind of dead-ending your team in game week 8 or 9. That's where you kind of start thinking about the double game week players. But I don't, because it's like Luton and Burnley, it's not really players you want in your team for like a long period of time. But either way, in goal, we do have Turner and Areola, both #1 goalkeepers. You get them both for 8.2 at the moment because Areola did just get a price rise. Turner potentially losing his spot. I'm not really too sure. Like, as a Forest fan, I don't think he should lose his spot. He's not done anything wrong. He's actually played very, very well for us. But again, I'm not the manager. I don't know if he's going to lose his spot or not. But even if he does, you've got Areola, who is going to be a playing goalkeeper for the remainder of the season. Like, you can't really see him losing his spot. And they do kind of intertwine very, very well. Obviously, you've got Sheffield United at home for Areola this week. And then next week, you could play, Crystal Palace away for Turner. And then, obviously, Luton at home for Turner. And then you have Everton at home for Areola. And then after that, West Ham's fixtures actually get really, really good as well. So you'd probably be playing Areola for the remainder of the weeks until potentially like you make a transfer or your next wild card or something like that. Obviously, there are other options as well, like Flecken and Leno and stuff like that. Leno has actually been, I think, the highest scoring goalkeeper so far, and he's not that much. But again, with Fulham, with the fixtures coming up, I don't know if it's somebody you really want to invest in too much. Like, they've got Chelsea this week, and then they've got Sheffield United, which is obviously a really good fixture, but then they've got Spurs, Brighton, and United, all games in which they're probably going to concede in. So it's not like the best fixtures for Leno. And again, this is saving you a little bit of money as well, because Leno is 4.6, so it is saving you that 0.4 here. Again, if you wanted to be a little bit more safe, you could go Flecken and Areola or something like that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with going Turner and Areola. I think they are absolutely fine choices for a wild card. And again, with goalkeepers, you don't really want to be spending a lot of money because they can only really get you so many points per game. They're not going to save a penalty every week, and as soon as the goal goes in, all they're going to really get you is hopefully some sort of save points. But either way, Turner and Areola in goal for this double game week 7 wild card. At the back, we do have Matty Cash, we've got Estepinian, we've got Udogie, Botman, and Kabore. So Kabore's in there for the double. You'd probably this week play Kabore, Botman, and probably Cash or Estepinian, depending on how you feel. Obviously, no Trippier in this draft. It's just very, very difficult to get Trippier in a draft with Salah and Haaland. You'd have to be taking kind of hits elsewhere in your team, and it just wouldn't be as strong. But I mean, Botman is fine. It's obviously Trippier is the better asset, hence why he's so much more expensive, but he's on all the set pieces. But Botman is still a really, really good player to have. Again, Botman is only going to get higher and higher as people see that. He's probably going to be 4.8 by the Game Week 7 deadline. But either way, Botman's in there. Kabore has been really good. He was rested midweek as well, which is very nice for his double. And again, picking up that assist. I mean, it wasn't really an assist, but in terms of FPL, it was an assist. Winning the penalty hopefully means that he will be starting both of them. But he's just been one of Luton's best players as well. And hopefully he can do something in the double. But most people are going to be playing him just because it's a double game week. And they're just more exciting, aren't they? 2 bites of the cherry, being able to potentially get some points. So yeah, Kabore's on, Botman's on, Udogie's on this draft as well. Again, just kind of playing for the future. You're not going to be playing him against Liverpool at home, but with Luton, Fulham, and Crystal Palace coming up, 3 really nice fixtures for Spurs. So yeah, I would definitely play Udogie in those fixtures. You don't need him, but again, with the fixtures coming up for Spurs, I think it'd be a good idea to kind of get someone from their defense. Estepinian as well. I mean, again, this isn't a player you necessarily need on your wild card. If you did want to play somebody else, like if you want to double Newcastle defense or something, you could do that, because Estepinian's fixtures don't get really good until game week 7, 8, 9, 10, which is when he's got Fulham, Everton, and stuff. Obviously, the fixtures get really good, and you need Estepinian for these. Like, even though they don't keep clean sheets, like, he's always in the mix. He's always getting balls in the box, and he's a very attacking-minded player. So yeah, you've got really, really good fixtures game week 10 onwards, which is why I understand people are wanting to game week 10 wildcard. But I think a game week 8 wildcard or 7 is still fine. You just have to think about how you're going to get those players in down the line. But yeah, I mean, this is when you're obviously going to be jumping on like your Matomas and your Marchers, and probably not João Pedro. I don't think people want to go back there. But either way, Estepinian's in this draft, but it very well could be like a different Newcastle defender or something like that if you wanted to. And then we've also got Matty Cash as well. Again, the Villa fixtures just get really, really good after game week 7. Wolves, West Ham, Luton, Forest, Fulham, Spurs, and then Bournemouth. Some really, really nice fixtures that you can just hold Matty Cash for a while. He's actually been playing very high up this season, and he looks like a really, really nice option as well. And his XG and expected assists have actually been really, really high as well. So he's a very, very good player to own. So yeah, I'm looking forward to definitely having him. Again, I'm wildcarding in game week 8, so I'm definitely going to be looking forward to getting him on my draft. But there's going to be so many price rises by then. So I understand people waiting for the game week 10 wildcard, but they're going to be losing like 0.6, 0.7, maybe even 0.8, maybe even a mil as well on different players they're going to be wanting to bring in. Because, you know, Cash might have two price rises by then. Botman might have two, you know, and midfielders, strikers might have to, like, it all adds up and you might not be able to do it. So I completely understand both sides of the argument. But either way, that is the back line there. In midfield, we have Sonny, we have Salah, Diaby, Bruno Fernandes, and Gordon. So let me just talk about Gordon first, because that's kind of the, not really a diffie, but there's obviously a lot of problems that come with having Gordon as well. So Newcastle obviously have really, really good fixtures coming up, and they are obviously feeling very good about themselves after smashing Sheffield United. Now, with the injury to Barnes, Gordon's minutes are obviously going to skyrocket, and he's a very good Salah enabler as well, being only 5.6. The only problem with Gordon is that he is on 4 yellow cards. So it's one of those, like, do you really want to chance it? Because obviously as soon as he picks up another yellow, you know, he might miss these. He's going to miss one of these fixtures. So it's one of those, like, you don't have to have him. And again, there are other options as well that you could be bringing in, because for me, I've still got 0.9 mil in the bank, so I could definitely bring in like a different kind of player for 6.5 mil. But at the same time, like, there's not really anybody else that, I mean, like, Diaby's already in this draft. Diaby's a really good obviously option. The other option is Mbumo, but I don't have enough for this draft if I were to bring him in, so I'd probably have to, like, kind of change it up a bit. Like, I might have to get rid of Estepinian, and then, you know, bring in like a 4.5 mil defender in order to have this sort of kind of draft going. But it's one of those, like, if you want to go Gordon, you want to chance it, like, you'd like to think his manager had spoken to him like, look, just stop getting booked, you're going to miss a game, especially with Barnes out now. Like, Gordon's going to be really important in that team. But I mean, Poch said the same thing to Jackson, and he went and got another yellow card anyway, so it's one of those. But yeah, Gordon's in the draft, but I mean, I completely understand why you might not want to go there. Or, you know, it's a punt at the end of the day, and it's not the worst case scenario. Like, if he does lose a fixture, you could easily play, you know, you got a strong bench with this draft as well, so it's not like something you're not going to have like a good player to come off the bench for either. And to be fair, a lot of weeks you might have a benching headache anyway, so it might even be all right that Gordon gets booked, because then it just makes your mind up for you. But I've also gone Bruno Fernandes as well. Again, instead of Bruno, you could go Saka. Again, has picked up an injury, not even sure if he's going to be available for the Bournemouth game at the weekend, but I've just gone Bruno Fernandes on penalties. Numbers are really, really good. And again, you could go Rashford if you wanted to, but with the fixtures that United have got coming up, I did still want to keep like a United player in the draft. They've got Palace, Brentford, United, Sheffield United, City. I mean, that game could go either way, even though United are playing terribly at the moment. Like, it's a Manchester derby, and then Fulham, Luton, and Everton. So yeah, United's fixtures are really, really nice, which is why I still wanted to keep one of those players in there. Diaby is just in there again as your Villa kind of. Your Villa, what is it called? Where your Villa, I can't remember the word of it, but either way, he's in there for your Villa players, for your midfield and stuff. Like Ollie Watkins, obviously a little bit more expensive, isn't on penalties either, so I think Diaby is absolutely fine to have on your team. Just playing a lot of minutes now as well. Like, we were a little bit unsure how many minutes he was going to get, but you know, like 72, 90, 90, 80, like, he should be fine. So yeah, 6.6 mil for Diaby, I think is a really good shout. We've also gone Salah as well, getting ready for the good fixture swing for them. They've got Everton, Forest, Luton, Brentford. So the City game, you know, he loves scoring against City, and then Fulham, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace. Like, he's going to be a strong hold, I definitely think. His ownership is going up now. He's 30% owned. I'm going to be getting him in my game week 8 wild card. So as soon as game week 7 deadline's passed, I'll activate my wild card, getting these players in to stop any like price rises and stuff. But yeah, Salah I think is going to be a really good player going forward. Again, he's not a player that you should completely ruin your team for, because you could have like either 3 really good midfielders or 1 really good midfielder and then like a Gordon and a Diaby. Whereas if you got rid of Salah, you could still have, you know, you could have Maddison, Saka, and you know, someone else as well. It's one of those, like, it's if you want to put all your eggs in one basket with Salah, but I mean, he's not blank this season and he's got really good fixtures coming up, so it's just the way I'm going to go. And they've also got Son in as well, again, after this Liverpool game. Luton, Fulham, Palace, Chelsea, Wolves, Villa. Really, really nice fixtures coming up for Son. And then, you know, when the fixtures do get a little bit worse, you could easily downgrade him to a Saka or something, because obviously there's no Saka in this draft. You could have Saka instead of Fernandes if you wanted to, but yeah, you could easily get rid of Son for someone else, because he's at that price point where you can just drop down to a lot of really good midfielders, which is obviously really, really beneficial. So that's the midfield. And then up top, we do have Haaland, Alvarez, and Archer as well. So obviously the fixtures aren't too good for Alvarez and Haaland going forward, but a lot of people are forgetting that, you know, that the Arsenal game, I think, is going to be quite a wide open game, and they smashed Arsenal last season. The Brighton game is a really good option because they haven't kept a clean sheet yet, so I don't know why people are worrying about that. And then United away, yeah, it is the Manchester derby and it could go either way, but, you know, they dominated them last season as well. Like, Haaland got, what, a hat-trick and like 2 assists or something. That's absolutely ridiculous. And then after that, they've got Bournemouth away and the fixtures get good again. So I don't think there's anything wrong with holding Haaland and Alvarez, especially with the injuries and stuff that City have got at the moment. Like, Alvarez is just going to be playing more and more. The only reason he came off against Forest was because of the Rodri red card. And then we've also got Archer as well, who, again, 4.5 mil playing striker. You know, his minutes, you know, 74, 90, 90. Like, you just got to have him in your team, as he's really good bench fodder. So, yeah, that is the wildcard draft that I've come up with for Double Game Week 7. Obviously, you've only got one Double Game Week player in here, but you like, if you're going to have Morris and stuff in this, you just have to get rid of him down the line. It just becomes more of a ball ache, really. But obviously, with me, game week 8 is when I'm going to wildcard, so I can just get him in this week. If it doesn't go well, I can just wildcard him out in game week 8. That's just been my plan for a long time. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. But either way, that's going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Let's try and hit 50 likes. Leave a comment. Are you wildcarding for game week 7? Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. Best of luck with game week 8. Of course, we have mid fixtures this week as well, so don't be playing don't make any transfers, because we've had the Saka injury. Madison is also injured, but potentially should be fine. But yeah, these injuries just get picking up and picking up. So, you know, it might push you into a wild card anyway. But either way, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're brand new. And until next time, peace.